This isn't the BBC. We don't have to start exactly on.
Right. Hi guys, are you guys on? Can you see us?
One thing to watch for the beginning of the stream is if you start seeing dropped frames and stuff, it means we have a Wi-Fi problem at this end.
Okay.
It should be okay.
Do you want me to get off it on my phone, just in case?
Yeah, well, that would be better. If you're on the same Wi-Fi, that's probably not so good.
Let me turn it off.
We did have problems when Cameron showed up each day. It was giving trouble, so...
Right, okay. My Wi-Fi's off. Hi guys, good morning. Mark asked, did I sleep well? Kind of, yeah. I always try to beat jet lag by like not sleeping for a good 36 hours before I come to Japan. So I'll stay up like the whole night before the flight, and then I try not to sleep on the whole flight. And so when I get here, I'm usually like just just wrecked. So I was actually like falling asleep on the train last night, and anyway, I got into town. Dave and I went and got a quick dinner, and then I fell asleep about 8:30. But despite all my best efforts, I still woke up at like 3 in the morning.
I heard you go out. I forgot to turn off the doorbell.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, I keep forgetting. It's my own responsibility, not yours, but I keep forgetting, you know.
It's hard to sneak out of Dave's place at 3 a.m.
Burglar alarm. So, it's more rats.
Yeah.
So do people know why you're here? What's going on?
Oh, yeah. I'm in town for Tokyo Comic Con, which is over in Chiba, actually, which is, sort of a suburb area of Tokyo. And yeah, that's me. Hi, I'm Jed. Hi, guys. So I'll be at Tokyo Comic Con for just the weekend, and this is the day before, so I had to pick some things up from Dave's studio, which I'll just carry over there on the train.
So what, the show setup is Thursday night tonight, and then the show runs 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, I'll be setting up today on Thursday, and then it runs Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they expect it to be really crowded this year?
I don't know. It's a pretty small event. We'll see. I have no idea.
The second year, right?
Second year. Last year was really good, and this year I think is good too. They got some cool, American movie stars and comic book people coming.
Oh, so. Stan Lee, stuff like that.
Well, like in Hollywood people too, like actual people in movies.
What's the connection with the comics?
Well, these days with comics being funned so reliably into movies.
Gotcha. The Wonder Womans or whatever.
Right. Well, and these comics tend to be... these Comic Cons tend to be more like general nerd pop culture cons. At least the American style ones do. Because of just the... What's the word? The readily available Hollywood influence.
Okay.
So they're kind of like Hollywood cons.
So there's big stars coming and stuff.
Yeah, there'll be some stars, yeah. I don't know exactly whom... Actually whom's scheduled, but yeah.
Including Ted Henry.
Yeah.
Did they ask you to come, or you what was that?
I'm like a dying dwarf star. I'm like one of those dim red ones. No, they didn't. Oh, I don't know. They didn't ask me to come. I contacted them and said, "Hey, can I have a table?" And they said, "Cool." So
you're in what, Artist Alley?
Yeah. I'll be in Artist Alley, but there are some cool artists in Artist Alley too. So, yeah. So do you guys have any questions or anything like that, or we want to just watch Dave work?
Well, in case it's any people who are not sure, you should tell them what I'm doing. Well, what's going on?
I have a question. I planned those these big bold brushstrokes here that you're carving right now. These big thick ones to be gray, right?
Yeah, of course. I put it black here so that I can see it easily.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you'll just be carving away all the other information of the
line is disappearing. So
okay. So that'll all get just knocked out.
Yeah,
Got it.
Of course.
Cool.
That's always quite confusing. People see me doing the color separations using like a yellow color for all the why are you going to make every block yellow?
Yeah. Okay. So Jed, who's been doing this for 5 years now, just got confused about the process.
Come on. No, these color separation sheets are really confusing, because there's too much information on them.
Right. Zilvian says, do the RPG prints have an official name as of now? I totally forget. What do we end up calling them?
I forget. It's on my other computer. Just a minute. Wait a minute.
Dave and I actually decided on a name, but that was like a month ago, and now I'm just kind of... Life happened, and I forgot.
Something loot.
Was it Epic Loot?
No, it was a longer word.
Freak. We debated about this forever, and now I forgot what we called it.
Legendary.
Legendary Loot.
Legendary Loot.
Yeah. So we ended up not doing the FARPG side just for several reasons. We didn't want to make anybody mad, and
we also Americans get it, but people in the other parts of the world don't have the background.
Yeah. So we decided to call it Legendary Loot. Yeah. So that's what we'll be calling it, which I think it'll be fun.
He may be here on the stream. I know Nick, the young man who suggested that name, the FARPG side. He was here last week.
Oh, really?
He came in the shop. Real nice. He did a print party with his girl.
Nick, if you're here, we're sorry that we led you on so long.
He's also the young man. He's doing the robot there, the bot that does all the question answering and stuff.
Oh, right. Oh, that's
He's the programmer.
Cool. Amazing. Dang. Quick with code and with wit. Oh, okay. Zilvian says, I'm talking about the prints themselves, the blacksmith and the swordsman print. Oh,
a title for each one, or just a number? Do we do that?
I think we should just title them.
Is there enough smarts to do that, to make sort of an interesting gag title for each one? Because remember, they've got a caption,
Yeah, maybe we'll just name them after the caption.
I think we can't do both. I mean, that second one, you put dibs. That's the title. I know you can't make another title on top of that.
Right. Yeah, I think we'll just call them the caption.
What's the official caption on this one? Isn't it a bit small or something?
Yeah, isn't it a bit small?
So those are the titles.
Maybe we could call it a bit too small or something like that, Or we can verbatim quote the caption if you want.
I think it probably should be just the captions, and then on the ones that don't have a caption, we make one.
Yeah, Zilvian, yes. Thank you for talking to me about this on Instagram. We had fun. Brainstorming ideas. Dealhog says, Jed, once the new Ukiyo Heroes prints are finished, please convince Dave to adapt Blood and Thunder and or the 8-Forked Serpent as woodblock print. So Blood and Thunder probably will not become a woodblock print because of all the gradations that I designed into it. It could, but it's a lot. It would be incredibly difficult to reliably produce.
It would be a lot of fun, but my God, the printing,
Right.
The problem, I mean, it's technically possible, of course.
Right.
Because, woodblock prints can be made. We would have a lot of lost copies. I know the number of printers that could do that, it's me or Kabuta-san only.
Right.
Nobody else can do it. I don't know, I didn't even count 25 impressions, 30 impressions. So we could do it, but I'd have to pay the printer well over $3,500.
Right. So
the price of the print will have to go up and up and up. It's still fairly small, so I really don't know. That cuts down the people who would buy it, and we go round and around in a circle. So
yeah, it's an attractive print. It might not be
it might just be more effective as a Jiclay print,
That particular one. For now, for the place where we are in skill and the temperature of the market. However, at the end of the Kickstarter, Dave and I did debate adding the 8-Forked Serpent as one of the prints for the Kickstarter. It's just that we had already kind of nailed down and promised the ones that we were going to do, so it was hard.
And one of those is a serpent. There's 3 dragons circling around.
Right.
It's the same sort of concept. And
but I would really like 8-Forked Serpent to become a wood print eventually, and I think that there's a fairly good chance that
Yeah, I would have liked to swap it out, but too many people asked for the one.
Right.
Asked for the other one.
Okay, let's talk about let's talk about what.
But hey, but just at this point, you might mention maybe that's something you could do to William or something. I don't know. I mean, you're going to have a whole different bunch of crews here working on these things as the years go by now.
Yeah, Kontar says we could title them using, I think it's the format of Seinfeld. The one about the big sword, the one about the armor.
Everyone the same.
That's funny. Yeah, that was. I think that was Seinfeld's
gag. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
naming convention. Oh, sorry. There was a Far Side collection book that had an index, and they were all under quote the one about.
Oh, I see.
That's so funny.
What, like the one about the cow, the one about the.
Can you imagine in text it's like A to S nothing and then T the one about.
But okay, but the one about the cow has 65 entries, or.
Yeah. Okay, any progress on that friend's tattoo, Jed? Yes, Koringami. So I decided that I was not up to the task of designing the color for that, because tattoo color is just so much its own discipline. So I contacted my friend and said, hey, I've got all the line work here ready for you to go, but I'm probably not gonna do the color because I don't think I can do as good of a job on it as...
You don't know what's technically possible, you mean?
Right, as a tattoo artist. And so I didn't want to presume to jump into that world and do a worse job than any tattoo artist could do. So I said, okay, here's all the line work. I know how to do that. Why don't you show it to a talented tattooer, and he or she will probably know exactly what to do with it. So that was my solution for doing the color on that one. So I think that series on YouTube is probably put to rest now. And that is the last time I've made a video on YouTube. Sorry about that. I should probably get on that again.
The last time you will? What do you mean?
No, I have.
No. Oh,
The guy who helped me with that one, the videographer, moved to New York, so I'll have to find somebody else. Yeah, I'll have to find somebody else. But it's okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, I think we're up to date on everybody's questions and comments. Oh, we do have some questions in the question box, though, right? Already?
Before you get to that, hang on a second. Before you get to that, there's here. On the stream yesterday here, we finished the key block here yesterday, and on the stream, we just pulled the first pull of it.
Oh, look at
that's
that.
all. I haven't done any more. That's the first pull.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Dave, it's beautiful.
What's fun is that the line work, the brush. This is a different approach to all the hero stuff,
Right, and that's what I really wanted to play with.
Just everything, like the guy's hair, look at this stuff. It came out really, really well.
Did you show it to them?
I held it up, somebody screenshotted it and put it on the fan page over there.
Cool. All right, I'll look at this really. Yeah, it's great.
I got to trim and touch a few places. That hasn't been touched at all. That was just bang. The first pull. Throw the ink on. Pull it.
This is gonna, even though it's quote like looser and maybe perhaps a little bit easier from my perspective.
It's not easier from our perspective.
Right.
So.
But I think even though it's hard for you guys, I think it's paying off. I mean, this is gorgeous, Dave.
The other thing is that's mine. The other ones are Kawasaki's. She's done the second one, and she'll be doing most of the rest. So.
But she understands like line.
Yeah, but whatever. She's okay. No complaints. She's okay.
Zilvian says it's lovely hearing Jed have the same reaction that we had on the stream when we saw the print. Haha.
Well, they're not my lines. I didn't create them. All I did is cut them in a piece of wood.
Yeah, me liking this is just vanity.
What are you supposed to say?
No, but they turned out really fun. They're a lot of fun. It's really cool. It looks like I just drew them, honestly.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is completely 100% raw. And what we do with the other ones, the heroes and stuff, is we don't fix it. That's the wrong word to use. But stuff like things that wouldn't be correct
right.
in an image where, like this, these lines pop out. We don't leave those, or when... a fabric line pops into a skin, they're wrong, but they look nice. Anyway, they don't get fixed. This is just completely there.
Somebody says that you should do a live stream on YouTube. Can you live stream on YouTube?
There's streaming is possible now on Facebook.
Gosh.
It's on YouTube, Instagram. There's all these competing platforms. I chose Twitch because it's the most sophisticated of the streaming platforms.
I just revealed my ignorance. Okay, I'll look into live streaming on YouTube.
I'm not going to switch horses now. I'm staying with Twitch here.
I'm kind of indifferent, so I'll check out live streaming on YouTube. Thanks for the recommendation, Koringami. Thank you. Let's see what everybody else says. Okay. All right, let's go answer questions. Desktop 2, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got some questions here from Yala. Yala, is that how we pronounce your name?
The Norwegian name. That's the guy that started the fan page.
Yeah. Okay, just a minute.
I don't know if it's okay to use names, because sometimes those questions are...
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I don't know.
Okay. Have you made any print designs of your own? You have mentioned that you're not artistic yet.
Oh, I was talking about Ethan.
You have been a musician, so I'm not sure what to believe.
There's a question for me, you mean?
Oh, yeah. So, Dave, have you made any print designs of your own? You've mentioned that you're not artistic, yet you have been a musician, so I'm not sure what to believe.
When I said not artistic, I mean in that classical sense of putting a pencil on a piece of paper and drawing a picture. Artistic person has many meanings. I haven't trained myself to draw stuff, Since you were a kid, you've drawn and practiced drawing things. It's not something I had much interest in, or perhaps don't have any skill in, I don't know. But as far as the original prints, yeah, this is a set I made, those Solitudes prints a few years ago. Somebody there can link it, I guess. Woodblock.com/solitudes. There's a set of 12 prints I made. Then somebody will do it. Somebody else in the stream.
Woodblock.com/solitudes. So somebody could link up to that. Dave did some designs there.
Oh, it's camera-based stuff. They're not photographs per se.
Well, they're interesting. Some of them feel very photographic, and some of them feel very Shinhanga. So some of them have been processed more into wood printing, and some of them are left kind of as is. It's a really interesting experiment in wood printing, actually. They're really heavy. I mean, there's a lot of prints.
They're too dense. They're too dense. This carving is crazy. I carved... excuse me. I carved shadow texture and stuff.
So here's a question about that. We've been talking about how it's hard to just print out different layers and just go for them straight from Photoshop. But how did you do those?
I did that way. And what I did was I separated the thing in Photoshop into different tonal values.
That's what I figured.
Okay, just a sec. Did it in tonal values. And then one day at one time on one machine, I prepared all the Hansta at the same moment on the same machine at the same time. Okay. And there's no line work. It's all just tones.
Yeah.
So ... It's like making a woodblock print of a 4-color process print. That guy over here does.
So you're just printing blotches until they all come together and make something that's
But I printed them on the same laser printer at the same moment, at the same time, in the same orientation, on the same weather, and pasted them all down within a couple of hours on pieces of wood.
And you think that made a difference?
And it made it possible. What we do here, the bit of background for people on the stream here, I'm having trouble. You saw me yesterday trying to match up the color block with the line work. Because what I'm trying to match here is Jed gave me Photoshop line work, which I printed out one day on one printer on one basic weather, pasted it down. And the lines we carve now, the lines I carved on this block, these now are not the Photoshop data. These differ from the Photoshop data. So later on, when 3 weeks or a month or 2 months later, we print it out again to try and find where the gray marks are. Those are the gray marks that match your Photoshop data, but they don't match what's carved here now. Because when I was pasting it down, maybe I slid it a bit, maybe I carved on that side of the line instead of that side of the line. It's enough difference that they don't match anymore. We've got that wiggle on the sword here. Is it on the camera? There's a wiggle on the sword, and the gray line I'm trying to carve now has to match exactly that wiggle.
Sorry about that.
Well, it's okay. So what I did yesterday was I printed yours. I printed my carved version.
Right.
And then on top of that, I moved that little gray thing with the thin paper until it lined up exactly with the line, pressed it down, and then glued it onto the block.
Along with the other gray marks that are on the
these don't matter so much because these are not
framing element.
Yeah, and even these dots on a blacksmith, if they're a fraction, it doesn't matter. It's those places where they have to match the line that makes it nearly impossible for us. And Kawasaki-san is doing that right now on the second print in this series, where all the colors that purple thing have all that sort of rim light.
So that was a fun phone conversation.
All she said, what am I supposed to do? I said, step 1, carve to the lines.
Right.
Carve that purple full right to the lines. Step 2, we'll think about it later what to do.
You might have to do all that in-house. I mean...
Well, what we want to do, I prepared it here. In fact, this is one thing to talk to you about while you're here. Can I ask you, Jed, on that file there's a bunch of files standing up at the left-hand side there. in the plastic files. I think it's third or fourth from the left. The file for this series. You'll see this. Anyway, right there. Thank you. That's it. Thank you. And maybe just to show here.
Oh yeah, so Shady Nasty? Is that your screen name? Yeah, I'm Jed, and I design a lot of Dave's work. So yeah.
Maybe you can show these on. Jed?
Hmm?
This is what theoretically be done. I've got the key block here. In fact, let me just zoom out a bit just for a minute here for a different conversation.
Okay.
Here's the key block. What should be done now, the artist gave us the key lines. We pasted them on wood. We carved them. Now, we get some blank paper. This has got that gumpy, the thin, peeled off stuff. We now print this carefully in the registration marks. Print this. It's now got the key lines. We then pass it. Let me just pass this right to you. It's got the key lines printed, imagine that.
Sure, I am now holding it.
And you as the artist now say, okay, this is going to be the purple one. In fact, here, there's an example with it. You color in what you want purple.
I don't think I would be able to do that with this series, though. I mean, I have to see it.
Because it's too small. So.
Well, and also, I can't visualize what it's going to look like separately. I have to see it together. Or else... I would make a mess of it.
I'm not suggesting we try this here today right now because you don't have the data yourself. You gave that thing to me as a Photoshop file 2 months ago. But that's our problem in that I can't physically draw. So I need to take this printout, looking at your original, and draw those colors.
Right.
And that's what happened in the old days. The artist had given the picture and the people, and they now draw and match. And if you'd given me a kimono pattern, we now draw that kimono pattern on this thing.
Oh my gosh.
And this is why we're having such trouble, because you've got it in Photoshop, or I've got it in your Photoshop file. And that's what we're trying to do by pasting these things together.
Okay, I apologize.
No, there's no apology necessary, but it's turning out to be much more difficult.
Yeah. We thought it'll be easy on the printers, hard on you guys. Yes. Interesting.
We thought we were simplifying it, and we are down the line, but right now on our desk here, we have a problem. So.
Okay, so we have a question. I want to ask Dave something else. You often mention the longevity of traditional woodblock prints, and I understand they can easily last upwards of 200 years, remaining in good condition. But how long do they actually last? 300 years? 500? Surely the colors will eventually fade and the paper will disintegrate?
Good question. Unanswerable, because we say in easy phraseology, we're using the same paper they used to make in the old days. In other words, it's the same paper in that there's nothing but mulberry fiber, and it's done through the hibiscus root juice, to hold it together. But the mulberry fiber and process of 200 years ago, and the same process today, involve a lot of different things. And I argued with the papermaker about this. How come the paper's not as white and clean as it was in the old prints I see? And he got really pissed off at me. He grabs me, said, let's go outside. I got to show you something. We go through his yard, off to his outbuilding, up the mountain behind. So we're standing on the mountain looking down over his house. He said, look around. What do you see? And I'm like, we're standing in the forest. What am I supposed to look at? He says, they're all cedar trees. And he swore in Japanese. They're all, fucking cedar trees. He said, when I was a boy, this was a natural forest. These were buna, beech. They were maple. It was a natural forest. The water was clean and pure, filtered through this forest. Now it's all cedar trees and the water is acidic because all you get is pine needles falling down. There's nothing else here. So the water running down the mountain into his house through his workshop is heavily acidic.
pH negative.
So whatever. And he then looks at the skies. What do you see? What do you see? And I'm like, I see blue skies. He says, it's full of fucking sulfuric dioxide from all the Chinese power plants. That's the air I'm living in. That's the water I'm living in. And you come here to complain about me that the paper's not as white and clean as it was, And he really got steamed at me. This living national treasure won us that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, So the point being, we're trying to demand the same product that they had 200 years ago, but the whole environment, the whole planet is totally different.
But they do things to make sure it's pH neutral.
Whatever, yeah, of course, he buffers it. So, but the point of the conversation is, can I promise that my paper is going to behave exactly the same way the paper did 200 years ago? I can't promise that.
Even the guy whose entire life has been spent.
We don't know. It's chemically, biologically different. Of course. Now, they don't go brown. There is no pulp in there, so it's not going to go brown in 6 weeks like your newspaper does.
Right.
So we're doing what we can. But can I project this print we've got in our hands, right there, the one you're holding from him there? I don't know. We're doing everything we can to make sure we're within that level of doing things, but it's a different world. We joke about this in the shop. We chat about this paper. We pull out an 1820 print from the antique corner, compare it with the Jed Henry Heroes print we looked at right now, and I say 200 years now, this is what Jeds will look like. And then I say, it's guaranteed, money back. If this is brown, you come back here 190 years from now, and I will stand here and give you, and everybody laughs.
Right.
That's all I can do.
Yeah. Poor Iwano-san.
That's all I can do.
Poor Iwano-san. I mean, the only way that he would be able to produce... it's impossible. Maybe he could go to, Nepal and find...
Whatever, we're doing everything to do. And in fact, at the moment, it's at the worst possible level because the Japanese countryside now is at the worst kind of shape. All these cedar trees are there, and also they've been abandoned because nobody's even cutting them now for
So they've been the cedar trees were planted on purpose.
Yes, of course.
Japanese people love cedar.
No, to build houses, of course. No, it's not being done now. They're importing Australian wood for houses, have done for decades. So the mountainsides are abandoned. And with the decrease in population, people moving to the cities, the Japanese countryside, for the most part now, is almost totally abandoned, which is good news. Keep the human beings away for it. Let the deer and wild boars and rabbits come back. And another generation from now, the mountains are going to be in wonderful, beautiful condition. Beautiful natural forests. But right now...
It's almost post-apocalyptic. That's crazy. That's crazy, yeah. But in the meantime, these, quote, natural forests that we see are not nature. They are a garden planted by humans for this.
When you jump on that Shinkansen and go down to Kyoto, almost everything you see is a cedar tree. Almost everything.
Okay.
But it's changing now because nobody's planting anymore. Nobody's taking care of them. The wood is all imported wood for making houses.
Interesting. Mark says, it's a shame that these streams don't get saved. This is gold.
Whatever, I'm saving them. They're all on my machine here. I've saved everyone since we started. Yeah. Am I still on camera? I've moved the thing around us. I'm not sure.
No, you're good. You're right in the middle. You're doing a great job. I think you're good.
The thing about that paper, though, it really is wonderful paper. I mean, I'm being a little bit not cynical or sarcastic. There still is. There's no pulp in it. There's nothing else in it. It's carefully buffered. And if the people who receive the prints take reasonable care of them, they will last staggering number of years. We use 200 as the number. I've got prints over 200 years in the shop here, which are still beautiful. Good, bright colors. The paper's okay. 200 freaking years, It's incredible.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they had their own environmental hazards back then, too, actually.
Yeah, it was called fire and earthquake and flood.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so maybe things weren't as chemically hazardous as they are now. Back then they died of what? Malnutrition? And now we die of...
Cancer.
I don't know what I'd rather die of. Ugh. I don't know.
Your generation has next to nothing to worry about. By the time you get to my age, that stuff's going to be pretty much taken care of, I think.
One hopes.
No, there's stunning advances happening right now. Even my own personal experience this last year, it's incredible.
I think every generation digs its own grave, Dave.
You'll find something else to kill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll find something else to kill ourselves with.
If you're a pessimistic person, go for it.
I am a pessimistic person. I'm not pessimistic. I just recognize mortality. So, let's see. Does anyone else have any question? Mark says, I don't think Dave has cut himself in 2 decades.
So, that's about right, exactly. So. About right.
Okay, so I want to show you guys something that's really cool.
Yes.
Is William on? William? Are you on right now? There's a guy in the UK that I found on Instagram a couple of months ago, and I had seen what he was carving, and I thought, oh wow, he's getting there. He's getting very close to being able to make viable multicolor ukiyo-e style prints. And so I reached out to him and I said, "Hey William, do you want to like collaborate on something?" And this is me being maybe an optimistic pessimist. But I was thinking,
It's the same thing you did with me 5 years ago, right? Write a letter to say, hey, let's
yeah,
make this.
yeah, I did. I approached him. I said, "Hey, let's try something." And it's not me, stabbing Dave in the back. It's me realizing that I'm 35 and Dave's 65.
Okay. I don't like where this is going.
And
Go ahead.
I mean, if this is going to be more than just a flash in the pan, we need to get more people on board.
No, you.
We. But yeah, if this is going to be more than just like an anomaly, if it's actually going to be something that takes root, we need to get as many people working as possible. And so I saw William's abilities, and I asked him if he would like to collaborate with us on something. And here is the result. I'm really just so pleased with how it went.
It is. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's cool. So
I'm seeing it yesterday for the first time when Jed brought it last
this is
night.
I call it Tiger Rider, and it's a little boy in kind of this fantastic cartoony
Yeah,
armor.
let me put it in this camera so you can
sure,
learn.
yeah. Yeah. And I think this, from what I know, this is William's first multicolor print, which is really cool. Oh,
Is it showing you? Is that better?
Yep, looks great.
We're in the light, though. Behind the light.
Oh, no, you're good. Just bring it back up the way you were. No. Bring it closer to the camera.
Okay,
And then the
okay.
camera will adjust again.
Okay.
Good.
Let me try getting closer. Is it in
yeah.
focus? I can't tell.
So, yeah, that's great. So up till now, we have done parody pieces where we base our work based on, extant video game properties or whatever. And this is me just kind of being me and not relying on any previous properties.
Is this sketch from one of your daughters?
A sketch of a daughter?
No, because you've sketched one of your daughters playing and adapted it to this? Or?
Oh, no, this is just...
So it's not a real person, it's
This is
imaginary.
generic,
Okay.
pleasing Asian boy face.
It's a boy. I thought it was a girl. I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, little kids are androgynous almost.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's very nicely done, Very, very nicely done.
Yeah, Zilvian says this fan page does seem to be a growing hub for amateur carvers, so hopefully you'll have more skilled people there in a few years. Yeah, guys, if you get to a point where you feel like you can start doing some line work that would be on this level, I say approach me. Email me. We'll work together. I mean...
You're going to have a whole, what's the word? Not a club. I forget the word. A whole clique, a group of carvers and stuff.
Yeah, if you want to...
Jed Henry, savior of classic woodblock printmaking.
But if you guys want to condescend to working with me, then sure, give me an email.
So what's it? Dave is going to be your ukiyo-e heroes carver. William's going to be your tiger carver, or what's the...
John Becker says a guild wink.
Okay.
Mark Roberry says, and replace Dave. Sad face. No, Dave will never be replaced. I just think that even Dave himself recognizes that.
We need more people doing this. There's
Right.
nothing negative here at all. The more people that jump on and do this, the better it is. The supply chain will come back together. You saw on the wall of our shop here, it says, living with woodblock prints. I want a woodblock print in every house on this freaking planet.
Right. And not to be morbid, but if Dave or I stepped out in front of a bus one day, this whole thing would fall apart in a month. At least our particular end of it.
our
especially
corner,
you. You're kind of a linchpin on this.
So I'm still a key man here. Absolutely.
So if somebody could turn around and start designing ukiyo-e, I think on a level or better than me if they really wanted to. But Dave has 30 years of experience, and not just that, but going up and arguing with the papermaker on the side of a mountain to understand how all this works over and over of all this experience. And it's going to take time for carver printers to amass that kind of information and understanding. And even me, I've got 5 years under my belt of knowing how to design for a printmaker. And even now I still have shortcomings, but it's taken some time to learn how to do it.
So guys, get these guys, get going, get busy.
My point is,
get busy.
Please replace us. Come join us.
No, join us.
Yeah. Let's see here. Scrochum, you said that kendama weapon is awesome. I totally agree. Oh, and Mark, you agreed. I want to...
Do you want to talk about that? Didn't you explain to me last night?
Yeah. So one of my goals in life is eventually to make video games like on a regular basis, and I've already made one with middling results, but it was a good first try. Okay, Cameron.
Come into the studio.
But
We're live.
One of the
Good morning, sir.
One of the games I would like to make. I just thought this kendama weapon was so cool. So a game that like focuses on using a giant kendama club sphere with a flail at the end would be like the most fun thing. Where you actually like you're doing combat, but then you have to do tricks, almost like a skateboarding game while you're fighting in order to like boost your effectiveness at fighting. But I don't know. In the future.
Sounds fun.
Cameron, hang around. Grab a chair.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's see. You joining this morning for a few minutes? Mark says, one thing I love about Dave is that he shares his knowledge. He's not secretive about his work. I wish more people were like that.
God, this is a no-brainer, you know. I don't get why some of the world is the other way around, you know. Yeah. It's just such a no-brainer.
I think because they're afraid.
I don't even know what to say.
People are afraid.
Afraid of
change
competition?
and competition.
You gotta be, I want the more, I don't even know what to talk about.
Yeah.
Competition's good.
It is good. It's good to have a fire under your butt with somebody breathing down your neck.
Yes. I mean, I wrote about this decades ago. You know, it's like the marathon runner. Just an example. You're the Olympic thing. When you started the marathon, there's dozens and dozens of people. You're surrounded by hundreds of people. But after the thing, it filters out and filters out and filters out. You're in the Olympics. You've been doing the marathon. At the last stage, they do the thing inside the stadium. Mm-hmm. So you come into the stadium there. You know, you're running. And then the moment you come into the stadium, everybody sees just you, and the place goes nuts. Everybody stands up. Here it is. Wow, wow, cheer, 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 cheer. You're thinking, he's pretty good. I'm so special. And then you're running. There's the finish line. And then all of a sudden you hear behind you. And you look over your shoulder and holy shit, here's somebody else coming up fast. Now what happens?
World records get made.
But yeah, and you just go, oh, and this is what I don't have. I mean, starting now, William's here. You know, you get what I'm getting at. Now I'm hearing those voices behind me.
Right.
And now let's see what we're made of, you know.
Get your ear in gear.
So, I mean, yeah, William's going to feel insulted by this. You know, there's no competition yet. But get going, guy, because I want that voice right behind my shoulder, you know?
Right. Absolutely. Well, and up until now, designing for ukiyo-e is different than drawing for comics or animation or anything like that. It's very different. Like, one time I showed a composition to my comic book friends, and they're all very accomplished comic artists, and they all said, well, what if you added a little more perspective and foreshortening, and what if you made, you know, what if you had like the arm extending toward the camera to show a little more, you know, an intense angle? And I immediately said, oh, I can't do that because then it's not ukiyo-e. Because if you look at like all the ukiyo-e, they didn't do.
Well, there's a style, of course.
There's a style,
yeah.
and they didn't do forced camera perspective. Sometimes they do it.
There were no cameras.
But it's not like in your face type stuff where it's like whoa, you know, you see this all over anime.
Huge hands, small hands.
Yeah, you see it all over anime, and like it, and so like I'll show my work to somebody, be like, hey, how can I like boost the intensity? And everybody's always like, oh, hey, like make it look more like comics, and I'm like, I can't really because
okay. So your point is then working within a strict set of guidelines and rules,
right? So. I can compare myself to other artists, and I do have people who are just blowing me out of the water for talent, but they're often playing by modern rules, and I'm trying to play by 1800s rules. So even though I'm not claiming that I'm like an amazing artist and I'm like just in my own league, I am absolutely not in my own league. But
I'm not in my own league.
I'm not like I'm not above everybody else. I am very much, I would call myself a mid-level artist, but because I'm playing by these weird rules, it's still very lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I get what you get. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you. The point. But you want more people doing this. You want more competition. You want, you know.
Yeah.
Make it a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the guy at the dance who busts out with some like 1700s weird court dancing, and everybody's like, "That's weird," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's just what I do."
I mean, we were talking about this before. Your competition is Yoshitoshi and stuff like that because the standards they set were so high.
Right, and so my competition is a bunch of dead old men that I don't know who they are. If there's an afterlife,
making new work.
If there's an afterlife, I'm gonna go hunt these guys down, and they'll probably berate me. But
one likes to think that they will say, "Here, let's get drunk together" or something.
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
You know.
Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Any more questions? We haven't seen Dave's final form yet. That's true. It's true.
Final form. What?
One day Cameron will come to the office and there'll just be this like wood shaving cocoon in the corner, and we'll be like, "Well, Dave's metamorphosizing."
Is this a game reference?
No, it's biological. Well, it's somewhat. It's like a biological twist on Pokemon.
Things.
Alien. It's kind of on Alien. One day Dave will burst out of somebody's chest as Super Dave.
Super Dave.
He'll have 4 arms like the Queen, and you can carve like 2 things at once. It'll be amazing. You won't need eyes. You'll have these just like pits for eyes because you'll see everything in like
radioactive.
Yeah, sonar radar. Okay, moving on.
Don't give those guys on that fan page any more ideas, please.
Someone says, Dead Steve, a game like Cuphead needs some mega love and dedication. I agree. And this is my sad, what's the word? My sad admission. I just downloaded Cuphead last week. So, up until now, I've had a Mac notebook, which it's a great machine, but it's not great for gaming. So, I went and bought myself a pretty okay gaming Windows notebook, and I'm going to be playing some serious Cuphead, and then I'm going to be drawing some serious Cuphead.
What's Cuphead for those of us who don't know?
Oh my gosh, I'll show you the preview later. It is a shoot 'em up game where you in this style of early 1930s American animation.
It's an indie game, is this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's the weirdest game I've seen in a long
Here it's
time.
incredibly difficult too.
Yeah. It's like
Why the word Cuphead? What's the?
Oh, because it is about a guy whose head is a cup.
Yeah.
And the story is
As in teacups.
Yes,
yeah,
it looks like
there's
a teacup.
Cuphead and Mugman, and this player 2. And the story is they shoot craps with the devil and lose, and the devil says, "No, it's time to eat your soul." And they say, "No," and he said, "Okay, well then in exchange, I will also accept if you become my minions and go take out all my enemies." And so you become slaves to the devil, and you go on this long journey, killing off all of his enemies, and his enemies are just these monsters. So you are the devil's servants, and you have a cup, and it's really weird. The more I explain it, the less it makes sense. But it looks amazing.
Dave falls silent here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Dave is seriously right now like, what the heck do you people spend your time on?
Well, no, I don't get games, but I get the existence.
I've got it here actually. I'll download it. I've got it downloaded on my laptop. We'll play it a little bit. I'll play it in front of Dave. We'll see what happens. Maybe I could. Oh, but you don't have a 3-pronged outlet, do you, Dave?
I've got
Do you have
an
a converter?
adapter. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Maybe we could like play some
That
Cuphead.
is the funniest Cuphead description I've heard.
Is there any other way to describe it? I don't know.
What's this? Explaining as though you would explain to a 5-year-old. Is that the way you talk to me now about games?
No, I'm explaining the way that I see the world. Okay.
And every frame was hand drawn and then digitally painted.
Right, yeah.
Every frame. What is it?
So it was done in the style of 1930s animation, and they actually drew the frames on paper.
So it's a 2-dimensional game, though. So it's not like
all the
3-dimensional
background
figures.
stuff.
Yeah.
So backgrounds and the characters move in 2 dimensions too. So they had to be done frame by frame instead of a 3-dimensional model moving around. So they're
they didn't cut any corners. So okay, back to wood printing. HB thingy says maybe you guys should make some Hanafuda cards to teach teach printers.
Teach printers. I'm not sure what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys ever want some designs, email me. Here, I'll put my email address down, and I can give you some designs to.
I mean, for those guys to cut and print.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
I am openly giving everybody my email address, but it's out there. Where's the at?
it's really weird.
I want to
Hey.
screw it.
You found it.
Hey, that's my computer you're talking about.
It's a Japanese computer. They've got the at mark in a different
Okay,
place.
so if you guys want to email me, I've
It's
got
much
a
more
design right
accessible.
now,
Yeah.
a Hanafuda size design that I could hand you guys.
the quotation mark.
To carve. So, shoot me an email. Wait, Hanafuda is like those little cards, right?
I
Well,
think so, yeah.
well, I've got some like postcard size designs that I could throw at you guys if you wanted to play around. And I think I don't know. Am I being
Or
overly...
whatever. If you're encouraging people to get going, please don't make the stuff too detailed, you know, because it's when people are just beginners, you don't want to cripple them with that picky stuff, you know.
It can feel overwhelming.
For a person with the first print, minimize the tiny detail, maximize the, you know, the color, flat color.
Well, then maybe go find something that's less intense. Or do whatever you want. Okay. Let's see.
So if you can do what Dave does, send Jed an email with those details.
No, I'm just saying, if you're supplying an image for someone for their very first woodblock print, try and minimize. I mean, it's just common sense. Try and minimize the tiny detail, of course.
Can you get Dave to do a Cuphead Let's Play?
That'd be amazing.
Oh.
Zilvian says your voice sounds like the Minute Physics guy.
Who's Minute Physics?
He's a YouTube guy, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
There's so many cultural references now.
Yeah.
The internet has created such like a...
Inside jokes for the whole world.
Yeah, to put it biologically, like the internet is now like the rainforest, where there's like a bazillion biomes and bazillions of species, like all of them surviving their own little niche. Whereas like before, it was like, you know, a prairie where there's like 20 species running around of megafauna killing each other. But like the internet is a rainforest now. Everything is just like doing its own little thing. It's crazy. Okay, here we go.
Don't wait and get that.
Biology, Dave.
Okay.
Lady in the Bath, that's a print that you're thinking about doing. Have you decided on a time yet, or
no? Because it's just this week too crazy.
Yeah,
I've got
crazy.
I've got to get the webpage ready for this next series, the one I'm covering right now. I've got to get the next YouTube video first. So the Lady in the Bath can wait till after New Year's, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Jed should draw the new version of that print. I think the one you've got is on.
Oh, HB thing, he says, I mainly meant that Dave could teach new printers for his shop using Hanafuda cards. Like he said, how old companies, use packaging to train printers.
Yeah, okay. So we need more, what you're saying is we need more lower level work for printers.
And Hanafuda cards are usually pretty low level designs, right?
Well,
like
they could be, yes, but I doubt there would be much market for them. What we need is, you know, low level work that has a high demand, which that's what Chibi Heroes did for us 5 years ago.
Right.
You know, we had the 5 new printers, and we didn't have enough work for them that they could handle.
Would you be opposed to just me sending people some Chibi Heroes designs? Is that like...
Well, why would I be opposed to anything that moves all of this stuff forward? I have no claim on your intellectual property.
The Chibi Heroes ones would be a good
training ground.
Mm-hmm. Kind of. They're pretty simple. I'm looking at them on the wall over there right now.
Pull a couple over so they could see the base. Or you can see them on the website, I'm sure.
Yeah, so Studious Idiot. Yeah, Jed, you should totally think about making some beginner ukiyo-e coloring book, download sometimes big, thick, easy to carve lines and such. If you guys email me, I can email you guys some Chibi Heroes designs, and I'm happy to share them if you guys want to practice carving on them.
The ones we've done already, or new ones, or whatever.
The ones we've done, I'm lazy. Not lazy, I'm busy. I can't call myself lazy, because I got mad at you for calling me lazy. I'm busy, but I can send people.
Let's leave that one alone.
Yeah, I can send people those designs.
It's your IP, you know. It's not my IP.
Yeah.
Those would be great. That's just the perfect level for beginner carvers or beginner printers. It's perfect.
Yeah, I think so.
Are these pretty well?
No, there's a box on. If you go over to the Mac over there, there's a chibi box full of them.
Okay.
Yeah, we can put one down in front of Dave's camera.
Yeah.
Show people.
Yeah. No. Up on the shelf, up on top by the computer.
Oh, of course.
Up on the display stand.
Yeah.
When I come over,
are you new here?
Yeah.
When I come over and we stream, who knows where these conversations are gonna go? We're like,
open the box up.
Yeah.
We're
here's the first one.
Public domaining our work. Here you go.
Here, got it right here.
Pull it.
How many are in here?
This is the set that's on the wall. This is the rest of them.
Right.
So we have a bunch of these Chibi Heroes designs that
is this focused or not focused?
Are just great.
It's a little. Oh, there you go.
For
that
beginners.
looks sharp.
And for scale, there's my fingers here. Some of this gets a little bit on the small side, though. You know, look at that. The guy's head's smaller than my finger. So this is not the best example.
Yeah.
No,
Duck Hunt, maybe.
So.
Pikmin?
The point being, the lines are quite fat, so that the registration can actually be wandering by a few points of a millimeter. That doesn't matter, because the line work is not hair-like. The lines are all fat, which makes it much more forgiving for a beginner.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, let me see.
This one too.
So. Mm-hmm. These were so much fun to make, you know. They're still fun. People in the shop who've never seen it before come in and, oh my God, what is this? You know.
This one's fun. I'm proud of that one. That one's fun.
Not enough parody.
Huh?
Whatever.
Oh, like it could get you in trouble?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
They were fun. Very much fun. That one right there. The one in your left hand.
This one here?
Yeah.
There you go. That one's fun.
Because this one, we had it on the wall for a while. People are like, what is this? What is this? What's going on? And you start to explain what's happening. That you know, this thing that the guy's holding is a jellyfish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why is this person all of a sudden so excited about it? And then the penny drops and they realize what it is. And they say, oh my God.
It's a little overly sensitive.
Wait, that's the sort of style of thing that wouldn't be bad for beginners.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and if you,
Oh man, totally in love with the Metroid one.
Here, put these out here next to here, just to show everybody what we're talking about too. Here, put this out there. Lay it down, Dave, next to. Oh, this one's awesome. Sorry.
Someone's trying to work here. What's this?
Just stop trying to work.
Well.
Okay, put this down next to it and show them the comparison between the line size. Just lay it down.
What are we talking about?
Just lay it down next to the line.
Okay, the one that you're carving.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so you
okay.
can see the
It's like
comparison.
that's the
Give me the
difference.
printout then that I gave you.
Yeah, that's the difference of what we're talking about here. But it's so yeah, that's the difference there. So
Whatever, the lines here are minuscule. The lines here are around a millimeter. Westerners, whatever, 1/16 of an inch or something.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, so if you guys want to play around with these, give me a shout at my email address. Okay, thank you, Dave. You can get back to work now.
You have Jed's permission.
Sorry. Okay.
That one's Ninja Turtle.
Which one? Where is it?
Wait, where did?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Because like they're
We're
all.
putting a new one up.
I like this one.
Okay.
Oh no, I like this one.
Which one?
Am I on camera here? I can't tell. I can't see.
Yeah, your
Okay.
your finger's right there on the camera. Now that has a great zoom.
This camera's better. I know it sometimes has trouble focusing if the angle is too shallow because it's attacking.
Yeah.
So it had real trouble focusing the other day.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
It's handling the light much better.
Oh wait, you want to throw the Ninja Turtles up?
That's the one that used to be up. Isn't
Okay, go ahead.
Did you give me the Ninja Turtles back? I better make sure we haven't lost it.
There you go. Okay, let's see.
Okay.
Actually, it's also not to make a sales call out of this, but all those old series that we made, you know, the Chibi Heroes series, the first portrait series, they're all still available. We're still printing them. Sushima-san over in Ome, almost every month, prints another batch of these.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, Tsushima-san. Okay, so there is some printing happening in Ome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. There you go.
Oh, you're keeping that one out.
I changed my mind. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't think it matters.
Okay, just. I guess do a decision.
No decisions are hard.
Okay, there you go. I like that one.
Me too.
We also get people, we got one just last night, a lady ordering that series to be sent one by one to somebody, and we've set it up. She's sent us a letter to include with the first one. It's going to be a Christmas present.
Oh, fun.
So he'll get the first two on Christmas morning, and then the rest will come two at a time.
Oh, cool.
Month by month by month.
Dang.
Yeah. Christmas present that keeps on giving.
Yeah, they were mostly video game based, and then I just started throwing in some nerdy stuff there too, like TMNT.
They're Ninja Turtle games.
Somebody says, Dave, why do you say you're not a designer when you did those awesome My Solitudes prints?
Well,
Sorry
see,
if you already answered this one.
You know, well, they're camera based. You know, I mean, yeah, there's something artistic there. I get it, but most of the beauty in those prints doesn't come from something in my brain that made a good picture. The beauty in those prints comes from the paper, the ink, the pigment, my skill at putting those things together. Mm-hmm. The beauty that they're seeing is the beauty of Japanese woodblock prints, not some ethereal beauty that David Bull created. So I'm not trying to argue the point that there's nothing artistic there. The point being, I'm not the Picasso person who starts with a white paper and take a drop of his blood and make something beautiful picture. I'm the guy who puts together A and B and C and D and constructs something beautiful out of all these beautiful materials and tools and techniques. And that's all. I'm not, that's my point, really. You're something different from me in that you can create the new image that didn't exist before.
Right.
And for me, I'm more of an editor, really. Maybe it's a better example. Rather than a composer, the Beethoven who puts the new melody on the paper, I'm the editor-arranger who can take some other guy's composition and make a beautiful symphony out of it. So I think that's a better analogy, maybe.
Okay.
There.
Got it. I'm zoning out. I'm kind of tired. I'm coming back. Coming back online.
Well, you just flew, 15 time zones over, something like that?
Yeah.
It's a long or big adjustment to make. And as soon as you're adjusted, you'll be flying back.
Mark says, I'd like to see some movie references. Maybe Blade Runner, ? Yeah, right? I would love to do Blade Runner. When we found out the new Blade Runner was coming out years ago, Dave and I tossed around the idea of contacting Fox and doing a license thing, but doing licensing is just...
it's impossible. It's just impossible.
Restrictions.
Way too many restrictions and way too much money in advance.
Right. So yeah,
and they demand limited editions. There's just a million negatives that we cannot... hurdles that we cannot cross.
Yeah, part of the reason that if you see all the other prints that do licensing, they're charging $500 a print minimum because of the way that just the licensing adds so much overhead that they have to charge so much. So then these licensed prints come out, and so we end up doing parody instead because it allows us to offer the prints to you guys at a much smaller
and totally
lower price. So to go do anyway, I could do Blade Runner-esque stuff, though. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly Blade Runner, but then people don't get it because they want to see the logo floating above everything in the air, and they want to see Decker, and so I don't know. It gets complicated, but I would love to do. Actually, Dave and I kicked around a subscription series idea of a Neo Tokyo idea, because Neo Tokyo is this megalith in popular nerd culture, right? It's been revisited by all these different comics and movies and stuff. So yeah. So Dave and I kicked around. We even wrote up a bunch of treatments on it about different just showing different aspects of daily life in a Neo Tokyo that we're imagining, and it was kind of Blade Runner-y and kind of but it never went anywhere. So, but I'm in love with cyberpunk. I love it, and I love Blade Runner, and 2049 blew my mind. And so to do something cyberpunk would make me really happy. What were you going to say, Dave?
Well, so, we've been in a production quandary, because we haven't had the talent and skill and labor just to make all these projects.
That's true.
We're moving forward. On the carving side, we're looking much better now. 4 different people are now working on Ukiyo Heroes as carvers. And if we can, over the next couple of years, do the same thing with printers, then we here in this workshop will be in a much better position to take on more interesting new projects. But at the moment, as we've said many times, we're just struggling here to keep up with what's already on our plate, from you and from our own work.
Right.
But it looks good.
That's why. I mean, that's why I was able to do the boy with the kendama on the tiger. It's because William showed up. He's like, "Hey, I got okay at this. You wanna work together?" And I was like,
"Can you try something?"
Yeah.
So, and all these new people who are trying this on that fan page, it's wide open. I can't promise you a job right now here, because it's going to be, are those people going to get good enough? It's going to be only 1 in 20 or 1 in 50 or 1 in 100 who can get this good. But there's no barriers.
Right.
There's no barriers. And whatever. If you get good enough, there's opportunity.
Yeah. And if you get good enough, I'd be interested in talking to you too, because my hands are kind of tied with how many designs I can make, and if my output is pretty small compared to many illustrators out there, because my ability to actually produce these designs into wood prints is hampered by Dave's 2 hands, or it has been.
It's also our lack of production capability.
Right, and so now that if people keep coming online, I could be challenged to.
Is William in the stream today? Have you seen his name there?
I don't know, William, are you around? I could be challenged to become a much more proficient. Not proficient. What's the word?
Making more stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I could make a lot more stuff if I had the challenge of more people barking at me for new designs, right? I want to make this into wood print. So anyway, let's see. Okay, let's see.
There's some funny things in there.
Okay.
Did you hear all about the Star Wars Battlefront 2 fiasco?
No, what happened?
Oh, it's coming out, or it's already out now, but before it came out in the weeks before, they were doing a public beta, letting people try it. And
this is a game or a movie?
yeah, a game based in Star Wars. And a lot of the players were not happy that they were selling what they call loot boxes, which is you pay $1 or a few dollars, I don't know the pricing or anything, to receive items that will make your character stronger or better. So it's essentially a play-to-win version of
pay
the
to
game.
win.
So pay to win. You pay a few extra dollars and then suddenly your character is way stronger and now you're better off than any of the other players. Or you could put in 40 hours to unlock the same kinds of characters. So it's like, pay $3 or play this game for 40 hours to get the same things. And so people who don't want to spend a few extra dollars for every extra item or every extra character were then being required to spend the entire weekend playing nonstop if
Just
they wanted
to be able
get
to get to
those
the next
things.
level. You mean.
Right. And so they're
Right.
joking about that and saying if you should start a Star Wars print, but then charge everyone an extra $29.99 to see the next color added to it. So you gotta
don't give
pay
me
for every
ideas
color.
here. Don't give me ideas.
Pay for each color.
Yeah. Yeah. EA's gotten... That's EA, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
EA's gotten quite... Well, good at that.
Yeah, but there was such a backlash that they pulled it out of the game. Because
really?
people were just, not going to buy this game. And
so too much of a blatant attempt to monetize it.
Yeah, and I think Belgium, somewhere, they're getting investigated for putting gambling
in
into a game aimed at children. And they don't... Because you're paying a few dollars and you don't know what item you're going to
Right,
get. So it could be total junk, or it could be something
fantastic.
fantastic. And they're...
That's rough.
Yeah, so they're kind of getting themselves into some hot water.
HB thingy says their stock went down. Amazing. Great time to buy EA
Yep.
stock. Apparently they lost $3 billion of company worth overall just because of that.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the writing has been on the wall for a decade, though. EA has been synonymous with microtransactions since, 10 years ago, right? I mean, or maybe 5. Definitely 5 years ago, when mobile, became all about microtransactions, and EA decided they were going to make that their corporate strategy for console.
Yeah.
Why?
People like to pay one price for the game and then have the whole game, not one price and then another $5 and then another $5 and another $5 and another $5.
But isn't that the model that's made billions for people here on mobile gaming here in Japan? These Candy Crushers or whatever, they get it for free. And
mobile's a different animal, I've learned through hard experience. Yeah, Mark Roberry says, so anyway, woodblocks. Yeah.
We need a moderator here, do we? So,
yeah.
Hey, I'm getting some work done.
Yeah, Dave's getting work done.
Yeah, so just watch him and don't listen to him.
The more we talk about stuff Dave doesn't care about,
And the more work I get done. Exactly.
Yeah. So we're really doing the right thing.
So anyway, console gaming.
Oh, man.
I'm just carving gray, muddy patches. It's funny. How do I spend my life? I'm carving blobs of gray. What am I doing with my time on this planet?
I'm sitting here watching you do it, so I think that's the next
So is
degree
everybody
down.
else who's listening.
Yeah.
I have to keep reminding myself, any specific thing. This is a gray blob that has no meaning. It's just part of a color tone to some imaginary blacksmith's tunic. But the overall thing, once it's finished and once it's done, that's what I have to keep reminding myself. The thing is beautiful and it has meaning.
Right. Well, the equivalent would be for an artist like me, a very common practice is just going to a park or a restaurant and just sitting there and drawing people like a stalker, or going out to a field or a farm and drawing farm animals or something like that. And people would say well, why are you just drawing, this random stuff that's just going to sit in a sketchbook forever. But the point is, it
was part of the process of building images. Yes,
it's almost like an athlete has to stretch out, So I don't do that so much anymore now that I have kids and things. But before kids became too much of an onerous, not onerous.
Be careful.
Making a pressure on my time. I would go just sketch like that, and none of it was useful.
Is this public knowledge? Your kid's situation next year and.
Oh, number 4's coming. I think we talked about it earlier. Yeah, 4th kid.
Jed's 4th is coming in the same month as my 3rd granddaughter. Actually, they know already. So.
Oh yeah.
And it's the same. Aimi-san up here, her baby is due in April. The same
That's
thing.
Crazy.
So something must have been contagious a few months ago.
April babies.
Cameron went silent here.
Oh no, I've got nothing to announce this. But are you going to officially announce an RPG series? Are you doing? Oh, is it this series?
Yeah, we haven't announced it yet. We'll get to it. It's Dave's job to announce it.
I know. The point being, I need the video for it, but to have the video for it means this print's got to be made.
Yeah.
So keep talking about things you don't care about so you can finish.
Yeah.
Actually, we're getting to the point. It's December in a couple of days. I'm going to have to just forget the video. I'm going to have to make the page. We're going to have to make the page, announce it, and just video has to come later.
Camilo, Mr. Madness, I'll check out Ergo Proxy. I will make a note of that on my phone right now.
I have the DVD.
Oh, you did?
I think so.
Oh, awesome.
I did at some point in high school.
Cool. I'll check it out.
Got it.
It
was cool.
Ergo Proxy. Noted. What's the Y word?
I'm not sure.
Yes. Mark, what do you mean the Y word? What's the Y word? I
YouTube.
Oh, really?
That's the Y word.
Does that happen?
No, because my next video is like whatever. When is the next YouTube video
They might
coming?
delete his account for inactivity.
Oh, no. It's only been a little while.
It's been 5 weeks.
Yeah, but... The print Psychopath is good too. It's kind of a pun because in Japanese there's no TH sound, so there's an anime called Psychopath, which could be understood to mean psychopath or psychopath in Japanese.
Because who knows?
Yeah. So it's play on words.
Like you're gonna take a bath.
Yeah.
Here's a question.
Take a bath.
So, like,
It's true.
if somebody has like a front lisp,
Yeah.
like not a back, but a front lisp, how do Japanese people write that? To like, if they were to like put it phonetically.
Yeah.
Do they have lisping in Japanese, or doesn't it affect the Japanese syllables?
I've met Japanese people.
Tachi tsute to.
I've met Japanese people who lisp.
Yeah. The one who said the tachi tsute sound for K's.
Oh.
It was a young child, so I'm sure he's learned now. But when he was young, he'd be like,
he's got his.
Kaki kukeko and tachi tsute to get mixed
would
up.
get them jumbled up. Yeah.
That's actually interestingly. That's how a lot of Polynesian languages work.
Mm-hmm.
T and K's are interchangeable.
Yeah.
So you can have like, I don't know a lot about Polynesian languages, but I know that T's and K's can be interchangeable in some cases.
In Hawaii, most of the islands use K's, but is it Niihau, the one that's kind of privately owned, not.
They use T's.
They use T's.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How do you know this? Well, what's
I
your...
lived there a couple of years.
You did?
I did.
Really?
Yeah. So I did my church mission trip.
Wait,
Hawaii?
in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yep. So
Crazy.
lots of Polynesian people. They're
Oh,
great.
cool. Yeah. My in-laws are Samoan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, so here we go. Yeah. So for Thanksgiving we did like
Work.
Well, we did. I mean, like every year for like holidays, we always do like Saimin and
Oh, nice.
Lalo and
Have you guys been down there?
fried
Do you go
rice.
down there?
And...
Have you been to Samoa?
No, I've never been to Samoa.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't she want to go back sometimes, take a look around? Well, how far back is her
Well, so
heritage
it's
there?
complicated. Ethnically, my wife is half Samoan, but her family emigrated to Hawaii 2 generations ago, and so they became Americans, Hawaiian Americans, which are culturally...
So she has no personal knowledge of the culture there. It's third generation.
No. Her sister married a dude who... He's like this Aryan Hitler Youth looking guy. He was blonde hair and blue eyes. Sorry, yeah. He's like the super blonde kid. She married him, but he lived in Samoa for a couple of years, and so he speaks Samoan. So anyway, this blonde kid now is the most fluent Samoan speaker in the family, which was a bit of a hit to the pride of some of the other guys in the family who, it's, yeah. The story of emigrating is funny and trying to maintain your culture.
Do I know anything about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Japan?
Every once in a while, Dave will just dress up in a Mountie suit.
To maintain his culture.
Canadian is what? Am I Canadian? I don't even know. No. Every time I talk to my daughter, the more and more she talks to me, she's like, I'm not Canadian anymore.
You are?
She's told me, you can't ever come back here and do what you're doing. We've had this conversation before. No, she's serious. The culture's changed so much. I can't do back there what I do here.
Huh.
She said, if you tried to open a shop or something, down on Granville Island, the crafty market, whatever, you'd be picketed out of existence in weeks.
Why?
Cultural appropriation. You can't do there what I do here.
Got it.
Right.
Whereas
she's serious.
People celebrate
whatever. Of course.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Common sense still reigns in Japan.
Japanese citizens find what you do to be encouraging because it shows that people from around the world are showing up and taking part in culture, whereas people part of the greater Japanese diaspora are like, "Hey, how dare you steal our culture?" It's really interesting.
Do you get that at all? You're in America, or you get this show you're going to go to in America every weekend. You go to different cons and stuff. A white dude doing Japanese culture. Nobody cares about this?
Nobody has ever really cared except one time. We talked about this once, I think, on the stream. But yeah, one girl was not excited that I was a white male taking...
This is a Japanese girl?
Yeah. Well, she's Japanese American. So, there's more emphasis on maintaining one's heritage over there because they're not living their heritage every day.
She felt more protective of it.